Hi, good morning.
Sorry
Sorry
for
for
the inconvenience. You've joined us here at the, the, oh my goodness, I'm at a loss for words. It's too early. I haven't had coffee yet. But thank you for joining me here, Keisha Brooks, on the show here, a black woman living with MS, a black mother. Um, Again, I'm sorry for the inconvenience that we had to do this kind of on the whim early in the morning, but everyone can catch the replay here on the Kubi TV network on YouTube. Again, you guys can catch the replay on the Kubi TV network on YouTube. Again, good morning. And I'm hoping everyone is happy to see me here. I'm happy to be here as usual. And I wanted to start off by saying a couple of things. We did leave off on our last show, letting everyone know that I had a couple of things going on in the works. One would be trying to get, my life back together after my diagnosis, um, getting back on track, um, gathering the things in my life that I felt somehow that I had lost. Being a young person, it's hard to come back and deal with disabilities, especially with children and family and everything else going on, your life going on nonstop. Because with everything, we have to be realistic. We have to keep moving forward. We have to keep going. Um, some of us do it as a mechanism to cope. Some of us do it because they feel it's the right thing to do. Me personally, I think it is everything, everything in a whole. And I say everything because I can't really pick one thing when my life kind of revolves and evolves as I go along. Um, I have the growth of my children mentally and physically, and I have the growth of myself. Um, I have the evolution of myself. I have the transitioning of here I am, a fully functioning person, a young adult, into an older person that I'm going through the transition of change. This MS has really changed my life, disability wise, friendship wise. My family is an ongoing thing, but it changes them also. I feel it does. And I would like to talk a little bit about that with the transition of family. Um, I I know I've said before in the show that this MS keeps you from involving yourself into a lot of different things, and it does. Um, Weddings, sweet 16s, occasions that I would normally be able to attend, invitations that are always sent sometimes. I shouldn't use the word always because the family members and the friends that do know of my disability, um, sometimes they just don't send the invitations anymore, knowing that I wouldn't attend. But it's not because I don't want to attend. It's because either the transportation, it's because before my children were younger and um, being a person with disabilities, I didn't have someone with me to say, well, if I take the kids, at least I'll have someone to be behind them. And also, I had, things are not, how would you say, like my mother and my grandmother would say, no one's ever going to treat you like your mother treats you. And I think that is very true. whether it be family, friends, wherever, if we go to a function, I mean, children are children. My children, there's nothing wrong with them physically. They like to run up and down just like other children. And I felt like I'm not going to go to someone's event and my kids are running crazy all over the place. That's, if anyone knows me, they know that that's not something that I am good with. So, with all of those things, um, those are the reasons why, I keep in mind, I'm very aware of the things that I've gone through in my life that have changed my life. Um, that's why I think it's very important with anyone that has a disability and their parents that, like I say, you have a good support system. But sometimes I understand that, and I know for me, I did not want to impose on people, even though everyone, oh no, come on, well, I got you. It takes a strong friend, it takes a strong mindset to know going in that my friend has a disability and she's coming. Let's put everything to the side. I'm going to have to forget for a moment that, you know, I'm going to have to forget everything that I know about this person at this event for this moment because they need and require a different kind of love, friendship, attendance. Um, because let's keep it very real. If I go to an event with a friend that is telling me that, oh yeah, I got it. Now I'm to the point in my life where I require, not even need, I require a lot more help than I did, say, 5, 6, 7 years ago, 10 years ago. Let's keep it real because I'm old enough. Like again, I'll say I'm fluffy, and things like getting around in a wheelchair. If I don't have the accommodations to take the electric wheelchair, getting back and forth to the bathroom, having someone, if we're going to sit down and eat and it's not in a restaurant, someone to get me a plate or to be around with me so I can get a plate, a drink, or whatever, and go back to where I'm sitting because let's face it, I'm trying to stabilize something in my hands. My hands, there's nothing really wrong with my hands, but I do get weak. I do get fatigue. I get all kinds of tired. So these things don't last. Like there's preparation before I even go out. I have to make sure I have a nap. I have to make sure that I'm well rested. I have to make sure that I'm taking all my vitamins and everything maybe a day or two before, which I'm as I have gotten older, I have made sure that I do all of these things anyway. When you're younger, sometimes you forget to do. You forget to do the vitamins. You forget to do the medicines. Now I'm to the point in my life where these things are a must. Medicines at 10 o'clock at night, vitamins every week, some other medicines every day. So having myself attend an event is an event already for me, if you understand and you get my gist. I have to prepare for my own event before the event, which makes it really, really tiring. And like I said, it's not that I don't want to attend, there is just a process. And again, for everyone that knows me and you're listening to this podcast, just know that if I have ever missed an event, I apologize because people take a lot of thought into even inviting you. And knowing that sometimes it's a formal event, they pay per plate, they have a venue, the expectations of you attending. Um, Sometimes, it's just because they love you and they want to see you. Let's keep it real. Sometimes it's for a gift, whether it be a material kind of gift product or it be monetary. I mean, I understand and I'm not mad at any of those things because, again, if you know me, I love a good event. I love a party. I would love to attend everything. But there are just things that come along with it. And I just think that people, friends, family, I know they understand, but it's like, damn, I put all this money into this thing and I went out of my way to. So you have to think of the thought process behind it. You have to think of, you know, put yourself in someone else's shoes, and I get that. Okay, so now let's jump forward. Um, I'm here. You know, I'm living my life and loving it, loving my family, loving my friends. Um, Acceptance is one of many changes. You accept the things that uh, you can't change, and to me, it's a work in process for the things that you can. I have put myself in a position where, again, I had spoke before about the driving process. Still a lot of paperwork, a lot of um, moving parts, going to trying to get yourself back on the road, trying to get myself into a position where um, not only am I driving again, but you set up goals. Um, do I want to only drive to the supermarket and to the, I call it drugstore, to the CVS or to the Rite Aid or maybe to the post office, or do I want to drive state to state? Which for me, that would be my goal. Um, my goal is to drive state to state, and I put that goal in my mindset because I have family all over in different states, and I want to make it my business to see the ones that I haven't seen in a while, and being the private person that I am, I know my family knows some of what goes on with me, but you know, everyone dealing with their day to day lives. I, I do work, hence the changing of the schedule. I'm hoping that I can go back to my regular scheduled time next weekend. But again, I was saying that I would be the person I would choose to get into my car and see a friend, drive to see a friend, drive to see a family member, drive just to go outside and sit in the park. It wouldn't even matter. It's just the fact that your life changes, it evolves into something else when your options are taken away. I know that if I got behind the wheel of a car today, right now, that it would be a problem for me. I would be taking a chance. Not to say that I don't know how to drive, um, but my extremities on my body would not do what they're supposed to do. My legs don't do what they're supposed to do um, anymore. It's a big, big feat to have my legs. I would have to use my hands to help my legs in that position. And in that position, your eyes are supposed to be focused on the road. You're supposed to be ready for anything. You don't know if a car might dash out in front of you And that kind of reaction time with a part of your body that is not reactive, um, could cost a it could cause a serious situation. Someone can really get hurt. So I've decided to take myself off the road. And like I said, when these options, these things are taken from you, um, it puts you in a different kind of mindset. Again, you can say, "Well, I'm not going to let this happen to me," and or you could say, "Well, this is the way it's supposed to be," and you can move forward, and that'll be it. But I have decided to say, no, this is not what I want to do. This is not what I'm going to do. I mean, that decision was not made lightly. It was not made overnight. I brought myself to that decision. It was something where I had to work on my mindset. I had to, I mean, I've always had a mindset to say, well, try again. And but with this, it's a little different. This is not a report. This is not something. It's not a job. You don't have a training for this. You just know that this is what you are going through, and you can lie down and take it, roll over, or this this is something that, okay, well, it's time to get up and fight about it. You're telling me that I need help, I need a cane. Okay, I worked with the cane, but now you're t- you're telling me that I got to walk with a walker. First of all, I'm too cute to walk with a walker. I'm not doing that. But I had to. I was put in a position where now I'm using the wheelchair. And hey, good morning. How you doing there today? I just I didn't want to feel defeated. I did not want to be defeated. I felt that I'm a mother, I'm young. This is something that's not going to get me. It's not going to sit me down. For whatever reason, it's in the works. People say God's plan. I agree. Um, but I don't like to question God. So I don't say, well, God's plan too often. I'll just say if this is something that's meant to happen, it's going to happen. But it's not going to happen without a fight. And for some years now, I have been fighting. It's like a drag down. I'm going to fling you. I'm going to throw you over, stomp you out. It's that kind of fight. And if anyone feels that, they're just not ready to lay down and roll over and accept this thing called MS, any disease, lupus, um, any diabetes, you'll get up and fight. You'll do whatever is necessary to whoop whatever it is. Like me, it took me some time to realize that there are things in my life that are going to change. There are things that I have to deal with. If I want to stay in this run. Now, me staying in the running, I think now that I'm as old as I am, I could have done it differently. But there are some things, and I know that a lot of people will agree with me. There are some things that are hard to give up. Okay, again, I'm fluffy. My family, they bake, they cook, they have parties, they drink, they're happy. It's hard to say that I am going to walk away from that lifestyle completely. Now, let me explain. I have family that I have not seen. I'm not able to get there. I am not a person that sat down in the kitchen with my grandmother and my mother and did not learn things. I have learned to cook. I have learned to bake. Now, am I the best person at it? No, I don't think I am. But it has brought me close enough to know. It has brought me close enough to stay aware of my culture. It's brought me close enough to be reminded of my past, my childhood. You know, staying, and these are things that I do with my daughter. Staying in the kitchen at one point, it brought me into a life that I have that has passed me, because you grew up. Um, but you want to remember. I remember the times I'd be sitting in the kitchen with my grandmother and she would make peanut butter cookies. Me trying to stay in that memory, me trying to replicate and with my own daughter helps me. Um, Me trying to replicate cooking, making the soups, making the breads, making the cakes, just as simple as going out and buying the flour my grandmother used to use, the Presto baking flour, um, kneading the dough in the kitchen. I mean, I'm in the wheelchair, as you guys can see, but when there's a will, there's way. And again, I share these moments with my daughter. So I feel that, and this is only my opinion, you know, opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one. I didn't know how to put that. But my opinion is if you feel strongly about trying to defeat this thing called change, um, you'll do what you need. But again, I do what I felt that would keep me closer to my life, my family, my culture, my history. Um, but it's a blessing and a curse because my thing and my family's thing was cooking. Now, I didn't, like I said, maybe if I would have tweaked it a little bit, because if everyone knows, breads is sugar and butter and flour, and you still have to think about, I guess, your health. And maybe if I would have tweaked it my own way, that I could have been a little closer to that. I don't know. I think sometimes um, if I wasn't as fluffy, it would have been a little bit easier mobility wise sometimes, and not only for myself, but for the person, if I'm not using my electric wheelchair, for the person that might have to push me, because it can be strenuous. It's strenuous for me to, like I said, I require help um, to get in the shower, get out the shower, put the clothes on, and these things. And I'm a single mother. And I do not want my children to feel that, oh, mommy can't do it. And we have to, no, because both my kids are young. I want them to live their life. I lived mine. Um, I was able to live mine. I was able to travel. I was able to go to school. I was able to do what I wanted. And I want the same for my family. I want the same for my children. I always let them know that right now you're home. Okay, so if you could, please help. But when it's time for you not to be home, it's time to go to college. It's time to live your life. Don't ever feel that you have to change your plans for me because I will get by. I will get through it. I have put into a position where I have good insurance. I have a place to live. Um, I have things that'll keep me going, um, and keep me in a position where I won't have to be worried. Like I said, maybe it would have been a little bit different. Maybe if I would have um, done things differently. I don't regret how my life is though, because I didn't want anyone else to be in a position where um, you know, I got married or I was with someone and they felt that, oh, they needed to take care of me. And, you know, just because you're a couple does not mean that you don't have a life. You don't have things that you might want to do. You don't have stress. People have stress. Everyone goes through a little bit of it. Some things that, I don't feel that anyone else's stress should have to be caused by the person that they love. I don't ever want anyone to look at me and say, damn, if I wasn't with her, I would have been doing this. So, at the end of the day, I know other people with disabilities, if you love the people around you and you love your family, I'm not saying that you got to leave them alone, but sometimes us with disabilities, you know, like I say, we change. It depends on the kind of love that you have for yourself. You can change for the better, or I'm so sorry about that. You can be miserable. Um, and sometimes some people go towards the miserable side just because they feel that they have the right to be mad. And you do have the right to be mad. But your evolution should not be into, it shouldn't be something where you're mad all the time at somebody else that has nothing to do with your diagnosis. They didn't give it to you. Sometimes we get these diseases, we don't know how we got them. Everyone knows that in your life, sometimes diseases are brought on by stress. They're brought on by the life that you try to live, by the way that you have dealt with things. Sometimes it's just something that has to happen. We get involved in playing the blame game that we forget how to deal with what is going on because it's easier to try to blame someone else. Um, and it's like you're always angry, you're always mad. I did that for, I'm not going to say I did it for some time, but in the beginning stages of me having my MS, my diagnosis, like I said, my mom, she was a very big part. And she said to me, I noticed some things and, I know it's not fair, but you don't have to be mad all the time. It's one thing to go out and you're with your friends because when I first was diagnosed, my MS was there, but it wasn't there. Um, I was able to go out. I was able to be with my friends, and I had little things like I would be tired. I wouldn't be able to walk through the parking lot, or my leg or something would go numb. And for some knew, like I said, but I was able to hide it very well. But when I got home with my mom, and my siblings that were a little younger, they understood, but they didn't understand my siblings. But my mom knew, and it was like, you're mad. You shouldn't be mad at me. And she had a really, we had a talk. She explained it to me the best way that she could, because again, she's going through something because I'm going through something, because she's my mom. You already know, mothers. Well, if you had a mother like mine, you would know that she would give whatever she needed to give to help her kids. And I'm the first of four. I, you know, I had a lot of responsibility, but I also had a lot of love for my mom. And she sat me down and she talked to me. She helped me. She she let me know that it's okay, because no one expected me to be sick. She let me know that the love that she had for me didn't change. If anything, it got stronger, and we were going to do whatever we needed to do to get through it. She let me know that life is what you make it, definitely. And she kind of held my hand through these things. She even, I mean, in the beginning of this, when I had first got diagnosis, or not even my diagnosis, before my diagnosis, you have to imagine, we didn't really know what was going on, and we saw quite a few doctors. And we had one of the first doctors, again, MS mimics a lot of things. And this doctor, she was a young doctor, but she was into different patients, and she, she made it very evident, I guess, in trying to be friendly, and with her patient, she she disclosed some parts of her life. I think at the time she was getting married. Um, but with disclosing a part of your life, you have to be a little. You have to be, when you're open. You're open, and sometimes being open is not really the best thing, because you're dealing with a diagnosis or probable diagnosis of MS, and that could be different. And when I say she was open, she just made it very evident that she was not worried about what I was going through. Um, and she made the mistake of saying to my mom, like, well, it could be nothing at all, and maybe she just has Lyme disease. And my mom, she got really upset, because it's, you know, you're worried about being my daughter's friend. She doesn't need any more friends. She has friends. She has family. She has people that are here for her. You need to be the doctor. And it I have to say, did not go the way that doctor expected. um, but like I said, yeah, my mom, she helped me go through a transition in my life that um we had our hard times. We definitely did. And we definitely had our good times. She helped me through some things that a teenager should not go through, I feel. But it's my personal opinion. She helped me through a young things a young adult with children shouldn't go through. She helped me even when I thought that her help was a lot. She helped me. Um Now with again with change, the acceptance of help. And I know everyone can agree with me when I say it's hard to not be prideful. That pride, and I have it, or I think I had a lot more of it when I was younger. The not accepting help, the not asking for help. I had it, took a close friend of mine to say to me, I got you. I got you. I understand. I got you. You don't ever have to worry about, the kids' things that you're growing. I see you. I got you. And it went, it can be a good thing when a friend says that, or it can be a bad thing. Now, in my case, it was a good thing. It was a good thing. Um, we had a couple of bumps, but it was a good thing because it's good to know, and it's safe to say, well, I got somebody in my corner that is right here with me. We're in it. We're like in the trenches. We are getting dirty together. We are um everything going on with me. I'm not doing it by myself. Everything that's going on with me, I don't have to face it by myself. And that part of having the pride, it took this person to say to me, like, what are you doing? Like, you trying to like I had an occasion where I had to take my daughter to one school, my son to the other, and I'm driving back and forth, and I'm tired, and you know, they were in the car with me, and we're driving on the highway, but I was tired and I was falling asleep at the wheel, and it was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you want to kill yourself because you're running yourself ragged, but don't kill me because I'm in the car. And it was kind of it's not funny, but at that moment it was like, oh damn, like, yeah. And you sit down and you think about things, and it's like someone is offering you help, or you need help. Take it. Don't don't talk yourself into, well, I wasn't raised like that, and I don't want nobody talking about me. Listen, if anyone knows, like I know, we got friends, we got family, there is something that will be said, okay? Um, what I've learned is that people can say whatever they want to say. Um, Sometimes who you say it to could be the problem, because it can be taken out of context. Even you yourself, you got a friend and something goes on between you and your friend, you're the one with the disability, the friend is okay. The friend might just be venting to someone, or that friend, you know, might say something that they really thought about, and they should have just said it to you, but they said it to somebody else, and that person says it to somebody else, and It's a lot of different ways things can go, but dealing with those kind of situations, the best thing you could do if it's your friend, and a lot of my friends that I have, the people that I've met along the over the years, I have a relationship with a lot of them. Of you know, to the point where even if you don't see me for 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, when you do see me, it's like I never left. And I love that. I love that about my friends and my family. So, I, me, myself, there's a lot of things that have happened along the years. Um, I can't say unless we have had some kind of physical altercation. And sometimes, like I always say, I'll take me a good slap before I have someone to sit down and talk to me like it's nothing in the world. Like, some people, they get abused physically. Some people, they get abused mentally. I personally don't want any kind of abuse, but I would rather someone slap me in the face before they want to manipulate and talk to me any kind of way, make me feel bad about myself or anything that I'm trying to do. Give me just one good slap before we go into the talk and the mind warp. But like I said, it's that pride. That pride holds some people down. It breaks down friendships. It breaks down families. And the only way to deal with it is if you communicate. You have to communicate. A lot of families sometimes they don't. I could remember um, moving with some of my family members, and they had a family meeting, a devotion, but not only was this part of their religion, but it's something that even if it took 20, 30 minutes every Saturday or no, every Sunday, we would sit down as a family, me living in their home at the time, me included, and talk about anything and everything that happened during the week so we can start our new week to say, well, what is it going to be this week? What could we change? What could we make better? Um, do we need help with anything this week? Is there something that we should have asked for last week? Now, not only does this help you in living, it just helps you to know that, you know, you're like everyone together in your family. It's like a well built house. Everyone has their part. We have the door, we have the knob, we have the window, we have the counters. It's a well built house. And you can't live in the house without a roof, without a floor, without some shingles. Everyone plays their part. So sometimes you have to get out of your own way. You have to get out of your own way to move forward. And pride sometimes it stops you. And I've learned that myself personally. So I feel like that's something that a lot of people need to hear. A lot of people don't want to hear it because I know what I'm doing and no, I can do it by myself. And yeah, sometimes I understand but it's not like that all the time. It doesn't have to be like that. Um, so now we've got that out the way. Let let me also say this, because this is a big part of having pride and why people have it. I know when I was younger, me having pride, it was because, well, I wasn't raised that way. Let's move forward to our present times. Now, young people nowadays, even some people my age, because I don't consider myself to be that young, and this is only my opinion. I'm just saying from how, you know, things with me have gone in my life for the most part. Um, it's not only pride. Sometimes it's more of, well, I'm not getting involved in that and I'm just going to mind my business. Understandable, but you're going to tell me if you see your husband or your wife accidentally stepping in some quicksand, you're not going to say, well, baby, that's quicksand. I don't think you should go that way. I think we should go this way. And no, that person, oh no, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I don't really need no help. Oh, all right. Well, okay. Well, you just go on the quicksand way. But I'm gonna go this way. A lot of people feel like nowadays that, and it's okay. Yeah, you drink your water, you mind your business. I understand. But when is it appropriate to say, well, no, like, I love you and I don't want this for you. I don't want this to happen to you. Like, I'm here. I'm here and I don't feel that I just want to watch you sink. I don't want to watch anything happen because you feel like you got it. Understand that you got it. But when you don't have it, do you think you could let me know? Just having someone say something like that, it's it's loving. It's just, I understand that people nowadays, they are, you know, they deflect a different way. They deflect because they don't want to look weak, or they don't want to look like you can take advantage. They deflect. They saying like, no, 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 I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And all the while they could be suffering. I understand that the talk, the scrutiny, I understand, believe me, I understand. Um, but sometimes, like, I have been blessed and fortunate enough to have friends and family that I can talk to and have, these moments of aha, or um, just laugh and just listen. I have family that we could just sit on the phone and not say nothing. They could just listen to me breathe. I could listen to them breathe. It is comforting to know that you have people that, regardless of what you say, they are going to be there. And I feel like a lot of us have lost touch with that. With the, oh no, I don't need nobody to help me do that. No, I don't know. I mean, if you're taking a chair and moving it from one side of the room to the other side of the room, that's understandable. But what about the big things? What about the, damn, I'm short $100 on my rent this month. Damn, I need a ride over to the pharmacy to pick up my medicine. Um, and I don't got the money for the lift. Damn, just little things sometimes. It's the little things. And that's when your pride kicks in. It's like, nah, I don't need no help. I mean, me personally, I don't live in the Bronx anymore. I don't live in New York. I don't live in a place where I could say, and again, me personally, I can't do it by myself. I can't walk up the block or up a couple of blocks to the pharmacy. I can't walk to the train. I don't have a train here, not close to me anyway. But physically, I can't get up and walk. So sometimes it's the little things. As little as, say, I get $25 or $50 cash in my hand. I can't take it to the place to put it in the bank or in the card or on my card because I can't physically get there. I can't drive. I can't walk. Well, I mean, I can walk, but it'll take me about 50 days and 50 nights to get back and forth. So that pride is that that just I don't need anybody. That action, that feeling that you might have, like I don't need nobody. I could do it by myself. Some people are not still in that. Some people can't. They can't for whatever reason. You don't know their reasons. Sometimes they don't want to disclose their reasons. Sometimes it's easier just to struggle. I don't think that people should have to struggle because they need help. I don't think that you have to go through rough patches to go through the rougher patches. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah, you go through something to learn your lesson on what you're going through to hopefully not have to keep going through the same thing. I mean, that makes sense to me. I mean, it takes some people maybe more than one time to maybe, okay, oh damn, I went through this. I got to go through this again. Some people, it might take them one or two tries to go through something to get it right. That's understandable. But for me as a friend or a family, to watch you keep going through the same thing, to sit there and say, "Oh, they gonna learn." Uh, not not necessarily. Maybe they will learn if you say to them like, "Hey, look, if you need a little help, I'll help you. Just tell me what you need." Now, I'm not saying to go and buy somebody a car, a house, because they're having a hard time getting back and forth to work or they don't got nowhere to sleep. Simply just saying, offer a little extension of your hand because that might mean the world. That might that might motivate them to want to do something else. Or just simply say, hey, I mean, some people take offense to it. Listen, you keep trying it ABC. Why don't you try it XYZ? I don't think that these things hurt. I think, and this is my motto, and I live by it. If we're friends and family, we don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree at times. And that's the honest to God truth, because you're not always going to see it the same way. In life, things change. You sit down, you think about it, you communicate about it. And these things probably are easier said than done. I get that. More than you know. I get that. It's pride that stops some people from wanting to talk. Because nah, I shouldn't have went that way. And if they love me and this, that, and that, it happens. It happens. If I've ever been in a situation like that, would I want to talk? Would I be open to a talk? Yeah, I'd be open to a talk. But it just depends. Now, are you trying to blame me for everything? Because that I'm not open to. Are you trying to say it's my fault for everything? That I'm not open to. I know I have my ways. Like I said, I go through more than most people with disabilities. They do. They have to. They go through these things you would never know sometimes. And then for a long time, no one ever knew. Now that I'm on this platform, a lot of people know. A lot of people that might not have known before. Um, and there are some people where it's like, oh, damn, I didn't know she was going through all that. And I appreciate you. People that have extended their olive branches, that, they might just give me one call and be like, listen, Keisha, I know all that was going on. And I appreciate you. I love my friends. I love my family. And like I said, in my life, I've been fortunate enough to to be in situations where they love me back. You know, I have not ever felt unwanted. I have not ever felt like, how you're ashamed because you can't do some things. Now, let me retract, because for a time, um, kids, they go through that age, middle school, high school, you pick them up, they don't want you to hug on them and stuff like that. Um, I wasn't always in a wheelchair. I had, I was walking and walked with a cane, but I had a scooter just for the simple fact that I didn't walk faster than an average person. So I was still in the position where I can go to my kids' school. I could talk to the teachers, but I used the scooter and I still drove. But in my mind, I felt like my son was ashamed that I would be coming to his school walking with a cane or using the scooter. And as young as he is, my son said to me, he's like, Mommy, no. He said, that's the least of my problems. Listen, 13, 14, the least of his problems. You have problems? Like, oh my gosh. It's it was crazy from my young son to tell me he had problems. Like, what problems do you like? I get you food, you have a place to live. Well, like, what problems? But it was comforting and it was funny because I could bring a smile to his face and let him know, like, you don't ever have to worry. And he put a smile on my face, like, Mom, that's that's irrelevant. I love you. It don't matter. You could come in here wobbling with a peg leg, and it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be because you're my mom and I love you and you showed me different things. So, like I said, that pride thinking in your head, some people they have it differently, but I hope the communication lines for everyone, you can see your way through. and talk about it and love on each other, and we can move forward. Again, I want to bring it to a close, and thank you guys for joining me. You have sat down with a Black mother living with MS on the Kubi TV network, and I will see you again next week. Have a good day.